Is it even possible to build a company that's bigger than Apple, Meta, Amazon, or Nvidia today? It's a question that sounds naive at first. After all, how do you compete with the trillion-dollar giants that have monopolized distribution, capital, and talent? But here's what Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn and one of the sharpest minds in Silicon Valley, said when asked this exact question. If you're looking for the next iPhone or the next Google, you're looking at the wrong place. The truth is, no one beats the giants by copying them. No one dethroned Microsoft by building another operating system. No one ever beat Apple by making a better phone. And no one will ever beat Nvidia by building a slightly faster GPU. You don't replace a king by playing on the same battlefield. You change the game entirely. So think about it. Nvidia wasn't even on the radar during the FANG decade. It started as a graphics card company for gamers. Today, it's powering the AI boom worth more than Alphabet. So who will build the next Apple? Who will build the next Google? These questions sound insightful, but they are actually just traps. They force you to look in the rearview mirror while trying to drive forward. And that's exactly why most people miss the next generational company. When we ask, can someone build a company bigger than Meta or Amazon? What we're really asking, often subconsciously, is this: can someone copy the same formula and do it slightly better? But that is not how disruptive empires are built. No one can build a trillion-dollar company by out-Googling Google. Apple didn't defeat BlackBerry by making a better keyboard, it killed the keyboard entirely. Nvidia didn't beat the Intel at GPUs, it shifted the entire focus from CPUs to GPUs, from general computing to parallel computers optimized for AI. In each case, the winners didn't improve the old paradigm, they escaped it. So the real question isn't, can someone build a bigger company than the Mega 7? The real question is, who's building something so weird today that world can't take it seriously? Now, segment number 1. Where will the next mega cap come from? If the next trillion-dollar company isn't going to look like Google or Amazon, then what will it look like? Where should we be looking? To answer that, we need to stop thinking in terms of the current categories like e-commerce, social media, SaaS, and start thinking in terms of new frontiers. The next mega company will emerge not within the internet economy but beyond it. It will be built on new primitives, new technologies, new interfaces, and new infrastructure. Let's explore a few of the most promising battlegrounds that are coming in the new world. Number 1. AI native companies post the LLM era. We are witnessing the first wave of AI integration, mostly through chatbots, co-pilots, and productivity tools built on top of APIs from OpenAI, Anthropic, or Google. But these are largely AI wrappers, light layers of UX on top of someone else's model. The true mega cap AI native companies of the next decade will go far beyond that. These companies won't just use AI, they'll rebuild the stack of how work is done, creating end-to-end vertical products that remove humans from the loop entirely in specific domains. Think about legal firms. Instead of lawyers using AI to draft contracts faster, imagine a full-stack platform that can negotiate, revise, and execute contracts autonomously. The human becomes the verifier, not the drafter. Companies like Harvey.ai are showing early signs of this shift, already working with top-tier law firms to build GPT-powered legal assistance. In medicine, companies like Syntegra and Raid AI are applying generative models to patient records, radiology scans, and clinical decision-making. These aren't just AI tools, they are redefining of what a hospital backend looks like. And then there is Devin, the first fully autonomous AI software engineer launched by Cognition Labs. Devin can code, debug, ship, and even deploy software on its own. Today it's a toy, but in 5 years it could be your engineering team. The future is not add AI to existing tool, it is basically rebuilding everything from scratch with AI at the center. Just like cloud native companies replaced on-prem ones in the 2010s, AI native will replace SaaS as we know it. The real trillion-dollar opportunity lies not in AI as a feature, but in AI as the company. Number 2. Synthetic biology and bioengineering. If the 2000s were defined by the coding softwares, the next frontier might be the coding life. Synthetic biology is about designing and engineering biological systems like we build software. We're taking programmable cells, editable DNA, and organisms which are custom built to produce food, materials, or even medicine. If that sounds like science fiction, you're already late. The field has exploded in the past decade thanks to CRISPR, high throughput genome sequencing, and AI models trained on biological data. The cost of gene editing has dropped drastically, just like compute costs did during the cloud boom. Now, that's not a coincidence, it's a pattern. Companies like Ginkgo Bioworks are building the biological equivalent of AWS. They offer organism engineering as a service, helping clients design microbes to produce fragrances, vaccines, or rare chemicals. Their lab is not a theory, it's a foundry where biology is programmed at scale. Then there is Zimmergen, which is acquired by Ginkgo, which worked on the biofabricated materials, and Modern Meadow, which is building leather from engineered cells without the cow. Incitro, founded by ex-Stanford professor Kohler, is combining deep learning and lab science to design better drugs by predicting how proteins will fold and behave. The goal? Shrink drug discovery cycles from years to months. What makes synthetic biology such a powerful frontier is its platform potential. Just like software eats the world, synthetic biology could reprogram the world on how we eat, wear, cure, and build. The next trillion-dollar company might not come from the Silicon Valley. It might come from a wet lab. And its biggest competitive advantage won't be code or brand, but cells grown and optimized like software updates. Now, this isn't a niche, it's a new industrial revolution just hidden behind petri dishes and genome maps. Number 3. Energy infrastructure. The next-gen grids and storage. The digital worlds run on physical power, and as compute demand skyrockets thanks to AI, data centers, and electrification of everything, the battle for energy dominance will define the next economic superpowers. This isn't just about building solar farms or selling EVs. The next trillion-dollar opportunity lies in orchestrating, storing, and distributing energy more intelligently than ever before. Now let's start with production. Solar and wind are now the cheapest forms of new power in the most parts of the world. But renewables are intermittent, so the bottleneck isn't generation, it is storage and grid reliability. Either companies like Form Energy, which is building multi-day iron-air batteries that can store electricity for 100 plus hours at low cost. Now these are not smartphones, they are for stabilizing entire grids during storms or droughts. On the software side, companies like GridAware, AutoGrid, and GridX are creating the brains of the next-gen power grid. They don't make electricity, they optimize when and where it flows. Imagine a grid that is able to self-adjust to usage patterns, stores surplus in your EV battery, and arbitrages that power pricing in real time. Then there is nuclear. Long considered dead, but now making a comeback through SMRs, small modular reactors. Companies like Oklo and TerraPower, backed by Bill Gates, are building compact, safe, and scalable reactors that could power the entire cities with minimal waste. And don't forget the holy grail, fusion energy. Firms like Helion, Commonwealth Fusion Systems, and TAE Technologies are racing to crack controlled energy source. Microsoft has even signed a future energy agreement with Helion, betting that it becomes real by 2028. The company that cracks energy orchestration, not just generation, could be the AWS of the physical world, because the one thing that we'll never stop needing is actually power. And the ones who control it, they will power the economy literally. Now coming to the theme number 4. Space and satellite economy. For decades, space was the domain of governments, NASA, Roscosmos, ISRO. It was slow, expensive, and reserved for scientific glory or military dominance. But that has changed the moment when SpaceX showed that a private company could land a rocket, reuse it, and reduce the launch cost by almost 90%. Now, space isn't a trophy, it's again a platform, and the next generation of mega companies will build directly on top of it. Let's start with infrastructure. SpaceX Starlink already operates over 6,000 low Earth orbit satellites, providing high-speed internet to even the most remote areas. That's not a telecom company, that's a global digital infrastructure free from cables, stars, or borders. Companies like Planet Labs operate fleets of satellites that take real-time images of Earth every single day. Governments, hedge funds, insurance firms, and climate researchers pay to analyze a crop health, deforestation, proof movements with near instant data. Rocket Lab, Relatively Space, and India's own Skyroot Aerospace are pioneering ultra low-cost launch systems. These aren't just transporters, they are enablers. As cost to orbit falls, space becomes the next cloud layer where data is captured, processed, and transmitted outside of Earth. Then there is Astroscale, solving a problem you probably didn't think about: space junk. Thousands of defunct satellites which are orbiting around the planet is threatening future missions. Astroscale's debris cleanup tech could be the garbage collection system for space infrastructure. Now imagine this, in 10 to 15 years there could be space-based manufacturing, zero gravity which allows materials you can't build on Earth, lunar resource mining, helium-3 or some rare metals, Satellite to satellite compute clusters. The companies that dominate this won't just be selling access to space, they will be rebuilding the internet in orbit, providing storage, compute, data, and security infrastructure from above. Space is no longer an endpoint, it's a launchpad, and someone will build the Google or AWS of this new domain. Now coming to theme number 5, decentralized infrastructure, the post AWS and the post Google era. The internet today is dominated by a few choke points. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, they host your data, store your videos, index your thoughts, and rent out the compute to run your business. But what if the next trillion-dollar company doesn't build a better cloud? It builds a world where we don't need one. And that's the bet behind decentralized infrastructure. Think of this as the unbundling of big tech. Compute, storage, identity, and trust all rebuilt from the ground up in a permissionless, user-owned way. Start with compute. Platforms like Akash Network are creating decentralized cloud marketplaces. Instead of renting GPUs from AWS, you can tap into the ideal GPUs globally, cheaper, censorship resistant, and pay as you go. As AI training costs skyrocket, Akash and its peers could become the GPU backend of the open internet. For storage, projects like Arweave and Filecoin offer decentralized data storage. Files that can live forever across a distributed network without a central server. Arweave's decentralized frontends for news, NFTs, and even DAOs. Then there is identity and access control, solved by protocols like Ethereum, ENS, and WorldCoin. Controversial but still ambitious. In this world, your credentials, money, reputation, and permissions live on chain, portable across apps and borders. The key idea here is that trust is moving from institutions to protocols. In a decentralized infrastructure world, you don't need a Google to log in, you don't need AWS to host, you don't need a bank to transact. You don't even need a nation state to prove who you are. These systems are nascent, chunky, and still lack mass adoption, but so did the early internet. And if the trend towards sovereignty, transparency, and cosmopolity and composability continues, then someone somewhere is going to build the next trillion-dollar company on the top of this decentralized stack. Now guys, these were the 5 themes which we wanted to discuss with you, and here is some investor cue. Pay attention to companies that look too early. History has always shown by the time something looks inevitable, the real money has already been made. The next trillion-dollar company won't shout it. It will whisper. It won't look like a rocket ship, it will look like a toy, a research paper or a weird lab startup in a garage. But if you're an investor who knows where to look, it will feel obvious in hindsight. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. We're trying to bring more such insightful videos to you, and if you can just support us by subscribing to the channel, it will help us to bring more such videos. So this was it for today. We'll see you in the next one.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.